Okay, now we're at part 3 of making aircraft skins for IL-2 aircraft or airplanes using photo impact. This is part 3 of 3. Okay, we left off, we were doing a lot of little things, showing you some of the features. I'll show you some more of the features, like for example, in this bar you've got things like oh, you can blur an image, or you can sharpen an image, you can adjust the tone, you can smudge it, warp it, remove scratches. It's just got a lot of little things that you can do to it. For example, smudge. I don't know if that's going to do much in here, but if you notice, I went up there and got rid of that little starburst kind of, and if I wanted to get rid of all of this, I can kind of smudge it all out and get it back to where it was. That's just one of those little pins. And then you've got your other pins here, like you've got an airbrush, so if you want to come in here and do some airbrushing, you can adjust those airbrushes on how intense you want them. It's at 50%. I could put it lighter, so it's at 90%. That's lighter, so it doesn't do quite as much. I can increase the size of it, of the brush. If you notice, this is just working. It's just working on the active object. It doesn't affect anything else. So see, I can come in here and using a spray paint and change all of this to kind of that burgundy brown color that I've got over there, because it's only affecting that active. And you start reading no step here now because it's not that vivid red. But anyway, that's that. Also in this program, you've got, besides having all these different pins, you've got clones in it where, for example, if I wanted to clone something, I would hit, I could hit this paintbrush, and I come over here and tag it, and then I come over here and see, I tag this. I could, matter of fact, I could even tag an emblem and draw that emblem out over here if I wanted to. See, that goes another emblem. And of course, this is embedded in that object, which is the skin object. So it's not an individual object in itself, and really it doesn't have much manipulative power by doing that. Then you've got over here, you've got an eraser, so you can erase things. Of course, if you notice, if I erase it, it just turns to white. And you've also got the bucket. Okay, I've got a bucket here and a fill bucket. So I can, let's change that back to a vivid red. And it tells you in here, it gives you, this will tell you about what percent. If I do it all the way, it'll change everything. Hit that, it changed it all. Okay, I'm gonna do it undo. If I just have it on a certain color range, in other words, I reduce that color range that it's going to affect. So, well, evidently I have to go more than that. So let me undo that. I go down to color range, down to 7. If you notice, then it doesn't really color all of it. And if I go back again to even lower, let's say get down to 1 and do an undo. See, now it's only doing just a very few. Now you can also turn your anti-aliasing on and off on this. I don't know if y'all know what that means, but what that does, that gives you edge, a blending effect when it gets close to another color. So you won't have a hard edge on it. Sometimes you want a hard edge and you want that cut off, like when I'm doing stripes and things. I want that edge, I want that anti-aliasing cut off because I want a hard edge. Other times I may want a blended edge, so it won't be so noticeable. But there are a few of the features, like you've got you can zoom in here with the zoom mode, or you can right click and get back out, or you can go up here to view window and tell it to fill window, so it just puts it at as big as it can in that one window. You've got nice little features like, for example, if you want to paint something again, and say you want it to be, see this olive green right in here. Let me cut the size down. You can come up here and you can right click that and it says color on screen. You go down and you can pick that olive green. Now watch this right here. When I pick it, that changes to that green. Of course that looks real dark. Let me see if I can get it color on screen. Well, let's make it a different color. Let's make it this light blue because that's very recognizable. And now my pen is set up on that blue, so it's set up on light blue. And you also have different ways you can have your brush to look. That's a circle. You can have a square. So see, you have a little square there. And if you notice, I've got softening edges on here, and you see how soft those edges are. If I want to get rid of those, I can just do this number, and now it's going to have a hard edge. So it's a lot harder. So you can manipulate things in that way. You can also affect the transparency on it. This right now is I can hold it down and I can do it like this, or I can do one click and do what pixel level is at 15 now. I can do that. Or I could come over here, and this has got like straight lines, and using that I can go from here to here, and there's a straight line. So these are some of the drawing features on this, just a few of them. Then you got a continuous line where I can come in here and just draw continuous lines. But a lot of these are kind of generic things that you can do. You know, your cuts and your files. A lot of this you undo. You know, go back, undo something. You know, that's a lot of these are just generic functions. You can take objects and, like right now, I've got these skins shown. Of course, you wouldn't want to do it in this application, but you can manipulate by. Right now, I can take that, and of course to do your manipulations you're going to have to really unclick the lock down here. And so now if you see this is a group, but if I wanted to make this group smaller, I could do that. And what it did, it made these skins much smaller. I don't know if you can tell by looking at this, but those skins are really, of course in this application that you don't want to do that, but it made them much smaller. You've got features like you can rotate it. You can hit this and you can rotate that skin, and that rotated it. And you've got where you can warp it if you wanted to warp it, like you can do a distort. And I can take just one of these points, pull it and distort it out. And in some cases you may want to do this. And also you have different ways of manipulating. What I'm going to do is just delete that skin just to get it out of the picture. I'll pull another skin up here. And but let's say I wanted to reverse some text for some reason. Believe it or not, some skins you have to reverse it. I could go to this text. This is the white text, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to ungroup this. This is in a group. I'm going to hit the ungroup, and when I do that, it breaks it down into where you can have just that individual text, not in a group anymore. And this gives you a lot more flexibility when you do that, because you can actually go in if you wanted to, and you can actually edit your text. But if I wanted to go through and use one of these features up here, let's say I wanted to resize it, I could. I made it larger, made it smaller. Now that's proportional. If I unlock that, I can stretch it So I stretched it. And if I wanted to reverse it, let's just say flip it, hit that and it flipped. Same way up and down, flip it. If I want to rotate it 180 degrees, I could do that. Rotate it 90 degrees to right, 90 degrees to the left, puts it back down, 90 degrees to the left, 90 degrees to the right, to put it back down. But you can do things like that. And the same thing again, rotation. Now this is an incremental rotation where you can do small increments at a time. And what that amounts to is you come over here, if I want to go counterclockwise a half a degree, that's what it's set at now. I just hit that, and if you notice, it's just doing it at an increment of a half a degree. And if I want to bring it back the other way, then I can bring it back the other way until I get it back level again. But there's some of the some ways to manipulate things in here. Well, I think for this introduction, because this is really what it is, it's just basically an introduction, that I've covered a lot of the features that I use on a regular basis with this program. It can get a lot more, you can do a lot more than I have shown, but I think it gives you some idea of the power of this. And if you're used to Photoshop, you probably recognize a lot of the features, even though they may not be exactly the same. The end result is basically the same. So for now, this concludes making aircraft skins for IL-2 airplanes.